So yesterday we looked at the first trailer for War of the Rohirrim. So today we're going to look at the video or the trailer again, but do more of a breakdown of it, dive into what we're seeing, talk about thoughts and theories, and yeah, share some little fun facts. So here we go. I love that they start with us seeing Peter Jackson's movies and just saying Peter Jackson presents. It's a good way to remind people that Peter Jackson is part of this project. So it's just a great way to build hype around this, which I think it's working out quite well. And we've, of course, got Howard Shore's music playing in the background, which is great. Get some flashbacks and some memories to a great trilogy. So for those that don't know, this director here, he has done Ghost in the Shell and a couple episodes of Star Wars Visions. Probably has done some more, but yeah, just some noteworthy projects. Good director.
All Middle-earth knows the tale of the War of the Ring.
True.
But 200 years before that,
Riders of the Mark, brothers of Rohan,
there was an older tale.
arise!
Pelennor Field vibes, and I love it so much.
We come with an offer to strengthen Rohan.
So I think this is really cool.
Daughter of Helm, I, Wolf, seek your hand in marriage.
Our fathers speak as if I were not even in the room.
The trilogy, Peter Jackson's movies, didn't really show a whole lot on the relationship between Dunland and Rohan. There was the one line with Saruman and the two towers, and he's talking to the group of wild men. What was it? Take back the lands they stole from you. Burn every village. And then they all run out, and it cuts to, the villages of Rohan burning. And that was all we kind of see. In the books, though, Dunland does show up to Helm's Deep. They fight alongside the Uruks, and they're there at Helm's Deep. Now, when Theoden rides out, and Erkenbrand in the books, where's it, Elfhelm? Can't remember. Anyways, arrives with Gandalf as well, and they have that, they push him into the forest and everything. There's a moment with Theoden deciding what to do with Dunland. And with Saruman's defeat, he kind of gives them a choice. And that was never shown in the films. Mostly because, we never got attached to Dunland, so we didn't really care. So it'd be really cool to see if that happens in the film here. In the War of the Rohirrim film. I know originally when they first announced this project that they talked about how the War of the Rohirrim would be a story from Helm Hammerhand's story, then leading into the War of the Ring and concluding with the Battle of Pelennor Fields. I don't know if that's still the case or if they changed their minds, but if that is still the case, it would be really cool to see what Theoden does with Dunland. Because it could be a cool way to kind of conclude the story between Rohan and Dunland, as it's kind of like the driving force behind the trailer here, right? Of Hera not wanting to accept this marriage because she feels like Wolf's father doesn't accept her, doesn't want to bring her into the discussions, the politics, the taking care of the people, whatever it may be. And this upsets Wolf, and then of course we find out that
I do not want to marry you.
You do not seek an alliance. You seek a throne.
and it leads to this.
You will live to regret this, old man.
I love that he kills him in one punch. Just Boom.
He's dead. You will pay for this with your life.
One punch, instant knockout. No, not even knockout, instant death. But yeah, so we learn that there could have been something more sinister behind this marriage, where Helm believes that Dunland wasn't trying to look for an alliance, but was trying to look for the throne itself. Maybe that's true, and maybe it's not. We don't know at this time. That's something fun that is kind of written about in Tolkien's stories, where it's a back and forth all the time of, you said this, you said that, you killed this king, you sent assassins over here, you stole our land, this land was always ours to begin with. Like, it's always this back and forth, and he said, she said kind of thing between Rohan and Dunland. So it's kind of fun to just see that a little bit play out through the trailer, and we'll see it obviously throughout the movie as well.
The boy I knew would never.
Now, I wanted to stop here because I've seen a lot of comments already. Doesn't surprise me. It's just a shame that it's happening. That people are immediately jumping on the, oh my god, the movie's about Hera, another girl boss movie, and it's annoying because she doesn't have any experience. She's not important to Tolkien's stories. So what is this nonsense? She has no skills, whatever. Well, the trailer here, in this moment, is not only showing us the relationship between Hera and Wolf and how that kind of blossomed into this marriage idea, but it's also showing her sparring with Wolf. So she's trained as a child to be a better sword fighter, sword and shield. So to say that she doesn't have experience fighting is just incorrect. It shows it in the trailer. Now, if you think that the film should be about Helm and not Hera, that's your opinion. But I don't see an issue with the story showing this relationship between Hera and Wolf, and it kind of becoming Hera's story. But we also don't really know. Yes, the trailer's showing it through Hera a lot, and she could be the main character, and that's totally fine. I don't have a problem with it. She was in the books. Was she named? No, she didn't have a name. They gave her a name, and they're making a story about her and using it as a driving force to tell a story about Rohan. I think that's really cool. I don't know.
A wish for war.
The boy you knew is gone. Fire!
So we see the Mumakil a lot here.
The boy you knew is gone.
And I'm very curious to see how they use the Mumakil. In that Mumakil weren't in Dunland. However, there was a couple of fights. I'm looking up because of my map. Maybe I should pull up a map, actually, so I can show that. So let's do that. And we're good there. So, got Helm's Deep here, Snowborn, Edoras is in here, Dunland's over here. Mumakil, for those that don't know, they all come from, they're raised in Harad, and that's just where they live. So, seeing Mumakil here, if they are in Dunland, odd, but maybe there'll be some sort of like deal where Dunland makes a deal with Harad. I don't know. But where we could see Mumakil is actually kind of up near here. Or maybe even a little bit more north, where there's a big important battle that happened between Rohan, Gondor, Rune, and so now possibly Harad because of Mumakil. And you could maybe throw Dunland in there too now. Because it's not fully explained. It's just mentioned. But there's a big famous battle that happened here. This is actually the one in the extended edition of The Two Towers. Éowyn and Aragorn are chatting on horseback, and Éowyn's trying to guess his age because she mentioned that oh, you fought with my grandfather or whatever, that would make you 80. So that battle or that relationship with the grandfather or father that she's referring to would be this battle here, if I'm not mistaken. Could be a different one that I'm thinking of, but I'm pretty sure this is the one that she's referring to. That's my understanding. And then you also have, of course, the Wayne Riders, which are from Rune, which are just super scary chariots that also, I think they made an appearance in Pelennor Fields, actually, or like descendants of them, kind of. Could be wrong, but they're like crazy. They're like a faction of Rune that use chariots and horses. So they're kind of like a rival to Rohan, which is kind of cool. But yeah, there's a big famous battle that happened over here. So this could be what they are referring to. So let me just switch back to the trailer here. There we go. All right.
Fire!
There's so many of them.
Moonkill and Edoras, that's cool.
Fight for my king.
I think that's Edoras at least.
I'm the fastest rider you have.
Helm's Deep.
People need hope here. Something to believe in.
So I'm really curious to see who this eagle is. From my knowledge, I don't believe there's any, we'll call it a snowy eagle because it's just all white. I don't believe I know of any snowy eagles. I don't know if they're trying to imply that this is a named eagle, if it's because the only named eagles I can think of off the top of my head right now are Thorondor, Landreval, and Gwahir. Maybe they've just decided to make one of those eagles a snowy eagle to make them stand out, which is totally fine. It could just be a random eagle that they've decided to make a snowy eagle, and they're going to give it a name because there's technically not like a limited amount of eagles, right? It's not like there's only 20 eagles and there was only ever 20. If one dies, that's just one less eagle that they have now. So they did breed, so there wasn't a lot of eagles, but there wasn't a definite amount of them. So it could be anyone.
My pride.
I love this so much of like this watcher creature for many reasons. Well, first, this is terrifying. You're at a river. Like, could you imagine you're just walking down a river and an octopus creature grabs a Mumakil off of the beach, drags it into the river, and eats it? That is terrifying. But what I really love about this is that it shows that the Watcher isn't just a single like entity. It's not a special creature that only exists out. There's only one of them, and it only exists outside of the gates of Moria. It shows that it's more of a species, right? Smog was a dragon, but he wasn't the only dragon. There was tons of dragons and drakes from the north. They would come down occasionally, find a hoard of gold or a cave, like, this is now my home. Spiders did it all the time, right? Shelob has her location. Was it her sister or her aunt that's in Mirkwood? They find a cave or a tree or whatever that they enjoy, and they make it their home. So this creature, Watcher, found this river and decided to make it its home. Did it do it because Mumakil just happened to take this path a lot and it likes to eat them? Like, I don't know. That's not half bad. Like, oh, this is a good place for a home. Once a week, there's a Mumakil that walks by. That's all I need. I don't know. It's kind of fun.
Joy. You could rule the world. You think I am afraid of you?
Epic fight scenes.
You should be.
Love it.
What does Mordor want with rings?
Now, I think this is I'm super excited about this, and I really hope what it's leading to is we're going to see one of the Rohan kings become a Nazgul. I personally love the Nazgul history and their lore and the mystery behind them. We didn't know who they all were. The only other named one aside from the Witch King is Kamul. So I don't know. Is this leading to Kamul, who's kind of like the leader of like Rune, and becomes like maybe a nemesis to Rohan? That would be kind of cool. I'll throw in a spoiler alert here in case I'm right and a theory that I'm about to talk about comes true. I don't think it'll be true, but as I talk about it could end up happening. So if that's something that bothers you, I'll put a like spoiler alert or spoilers over text on screen so that you can come back. But yeah, so there's a game called Shadow of War. And in Shadow of War, they also talk about the histories and the origins of some of the Nazgul. And I know some of you are already upset with me and you know where this is going. Bear with me. One of the Nazgul they talk about is Helm Hammerhand. Helm Hammerhand becomes a Nazgul in Shadow of War. This upset a lot of people because the timeline just didn't work. Now, do I think this is going to happen? No, but I am saying it's a potential. It happened in a game, and at the beginning of the trailer, they talk about only 200 years before the War of the Ring. I might have to do a little bit more deep diving into the timeline specifically, but there's a potential where Helm's death in this movie, if it even happens in the movie, I'm assuming it will be, but maybe not, that it could line up with the rings being made and Helm getting one and becoming a Nazgul. It could happen, but I don't think so. And I know it would upset a lot of people, so that's why I don't think it'll happen. But I just thought when I saw this and thought about Helm Hammerhand, I immediately thought, oh no, they're going to make Helm a Nazgul and it's going to piss off so many people. And they're going to be like, oh, well, it happened in a game, so we can do it here. It's like, oh no, this is all going to go wrong. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, so I'll do the spoilers over. Yeah, so that's kind of it, and I'm super excited for this. I love this so much. I love that we're getting another Peter Jackson story here. We're getting another take on his version of Middle Earth that I think respects Tolkien's world more than what Amazon has done. And speaking of Amazon, I think there's a lot of odd similarities between this trailer and what Amazon has done so far or shown us so far. I don't know if that was done intentionally or by accident. Might do that in another video here, but I just see this and I immediately think of Elrond on horseback. I see the eagle and immediately think of the eagle that we saw in the most recent trailer. I see the Watcher and immediately think of the water creature we saw in the most recent trailer. There's the whole fight at Helm's Deep, and it just immediately, or like where is it? I don't know where it is. It's fine. But there's like the drawbridge or whatever, the tower that collapses on the wall, and I just now start picturing the siege of Eregion that was in the most recent trailer. But on top of that, the most obvious thing is this right here on how, yes, they're going to make Hera a girl boss, but I think it'll be funny to see that Hera will be done correctly in this girl boss trope, and it will make Amazon's choice of what they've done with Galadriel just look poor and look worse. And it's just, there's a lot of similarities and a lot of fun coincidences. So I don't know. I thought that was fun to point out. But yeah, I'm really excited for this. I really hope that this is successful. I think it's smart for them to. I'm sure there was more reasoning to why we have to wait till December. Ooh, Christmas release is fun. There's nothing really coming out around that time. I think the only other movie that's coming out is Mufasa, which I don't think there's anyone that's going to go to the theaters Christmas and think, oh no, I can only watch Mufasa or War of the Rohirrim. If you're going to the theater for one of those movies, you're not going there to debate which one you want. You're going there with a purpose. So I don't think that'll have any effect on it. But it's like there could have been some thought of, we're going to wait X amount of time after Rings of Power Season 2 to really just distance ourselves so that there's no conflict of, oh, our viewers were affected by this show. And that goes both ways. Amazon won't be able to complain that War of the Rohirrim took numbers away. War of the Rohirrim, Warner Brothers can't say that Amazon took numbers from them. So I think that was just smart and a good choice, but maybe that's just coincidence. I don't know. Yeah, so thanks for watching. I'm super excited to keep up coverage with this. I can't describe enough how excited I am for this project. And I really hope it lives up to the hype that I'm building in my head, because this could be something really great that we haven't gotten in a long time. So thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.